Okay. 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome back to this virtual environment. Today I wanted to show you my final concluding video for the Kaitlin Swift Digital Museum. So let's get that launched, shall we? So I'm going to be using Firefox Reality to use this as a web browser. So let's enter the lobby. Yes, I was using Moonwriter. It's a very fun and engaging exercise, and it's free. So this is loading the scene for the virtual environment using Hubs by Mozilla, which is a web-based framework to utilize the service, which is rather useful. So let's join the room, accept the general preferences, and it uses the WebXR framework. And here we are in a virtual environment. Now, as you can see, this is basically it. This is the concluding video that showcases everything that I've done for the Kaitlin Swift Digital Museum. Now, you can view my previous videos if you want individual segments, but I wanted to show you my last update in terms of what has been done. As you can see, I'm going to move around in the space. We've added music, general introductory elements, a segment that showcases me and links to my website, this gigantic banner. I've also organized the specific wings based off of alphabetical styling, so drawings is now on the left, paintings is in the center, and tattoos is on the right. Now let's go back with tattoos, since that was one of the previous videos and there's been a little bit of progress there. So I'm going to load the specific environment, and as you can see, it opens into a separate web-based browser page, simply because there is no useful element to continue the WebXR framework in WebXR automatically. Eventually, I do feel like we will get to that point, but it's just not there yet. So let's join the room, follow the exact same setup, and here we are. Now, again, it's still following the general principle. The more up-to-date tattoos have been added over in the backhand corner. But now, on the rightmost side, you'll see the Hall of Flash. Now, for most tattoo artists, they have a wall of flash work, which is basically their designs that were in drawing form before they place it on skin. So you can see most of her work in terms of flash-based design, and you can move closer or further away to see the specific elements, which is rather useful, especially in terms of being able to see the specific designs that she's made in terms of line consistency, the specific designs that she'd like to be using in terms of her tattoo work moving forward. Now, it's not 100% complete, mainly just because the amount of flash that she will develop over time will eventually expand and continue, thus allowing for more designs to be added moving forward in the future. But this is a general rough representation of her flash work, which most tattoo artists all have a portfolio of. And this allows for a virtual environment that allows people to see the flash work in total, which is really useful, especially as you start to get close enough to inspect the individual line designs that she's made for her flash. Now, moving forward with that, let's go back to the lobby so that I can show you the next element that's been added. So we'll go back to the general form. Not the form, it's the lobby, which is the original environment. And once we load into that, I will show you the next wing that I've completed, which is the last wing, so to speak, in terms of what's been added. I needed to have a stopping point at some point, so I think I'm going to end it with drawings, mainly because that was the largest in terms of her collection size. So we'll open the link to the drawings-based area. Let's see if I can reload that. There we go. Turning around in 360 space requires me to show the window in an easier way to operate, simply because my microphone is directly in front of me in one specific area. So if I don't turn myself, it winds up picking up worse audio. Now, I haven't titled the scene yet, but this is a good representation of what's been added. So there's a lobby door that links back to the original lobby, which is the based environment. There's the static introductory, which showcases Kaitlin Swift's image and the title of her website. And here are the drawings, which I'm fetching from her website, going back from 2014 all the way up to 2021, which is as of this video. As you can see, it goes to a specific case. I mean, I've pulled all the images that I possibly could, And in doing so, you can zoom in and you can see the specific image. Based off of the perspective of the image, you can see a lot more user details over the long term. Now this goes from 2014 all the way up to 2021, but if you want to see this room and check out her artwork over the last 7 years, so to speak, you can see that, and it tends to work out rather well. Now, unfortunately, there's only so much I can do in terms of pulling artwork. Again, not all of the images were 100% perfect, and it's not complete, not even in the general form. But you can see her artwork being displayed over a vast period of years. And it does become rather extensive, especially as I start to go through the individual hall elements, and you can see each individual artwork that I've been able to collect from her website. And again, it's separated through years, so you're able to see individual pieces. And this is going to be a quick speed through all of her artwork. Apologies for not lingering on some of the more interesting artwork pieces that you find fascinating, but this has to be a shorter video, otherwise it just winds up being long-winded and not that fun to watch. Let's see. Following that, yes, some images are much larger, especially in terms of scale, but as you zoom out, you can see that it gets rather... In a VR space, it does become rather big. Let's see. Yep, you can get ridiculously up close in terms of seeing the specific details for some of her artwork pieces. And depending on how much time she spent on some of her drawings, you really can start to see the detail. And that is ridiculously fascinating, especially in a VR-based space. And the whole point of this exercise was to showcase her artistic ability over the long term. By seeing it in a year-by-year space, you can see her progression as an artist. And that allows for more interesting concepts, especially just seeing how artists move forward with their projects. Now again, this is not complete, and not every single artwork is listed here, simply because there's just not photos of all of her old sketches. But it does create a rather interesting 3D-based effect, at least in VR, simply because the texture pop-in is fascinating, because it's not a 2D-based screen, it's two individual screens showcasing it in a VR space, thus giving it the illusion of 3D performance, which is absolutely mind-boggling, especially for some of her work. And you can see that based off of if you view this in VR. Now again, this is a browser-based extension. It uses the WebXR framework, so you can see the artwork regardless. You can basically get into the room without having to have a VR-based headset. You can use this on a mobile device, a website browser. It basically will run on any website browser that allows you to have access to this room. But you can see her artwork in as much detail as we possibly could pull it. I'm going to have to go through her artwork and get but a better representation of the resolution. As you can see, there are some elements that just do not, it's not a curated ordering, and it's not 100% perfect, and it's not cohesive. As you can see, there's a big jump between 2018 and it jumps directly to 2021. Not everything is here, which is unfortunate, but there's only so much I can do. I don't have access to her artwork, at least immediately. But that is basically it. This is the update as of so far. There's plenty of more space that can be added over the long term, and as you can see, this is a ridiculously large virtual environment in terms of what's available. But that's about it. Let's go back to the lobby just so I can close off what my general thoughts are, especially in terms of just finishing off this small segment of the series for VR development. Again, I used Hubs by Mozilla to create 3D-based environments. In this specific project, it was a digital museum showcasing the artwork of Kaitlin Swift. And I feel like I've done a pretty great job, at least in terms of what I was able to accomplish in under a month. I mean, the amount of detail and work that I was able to do just in my spare time, I mean, that's fairly impressive, at least in terms of how it runs and how it just works. Now, again, this is just the stopping point for this specific project. Of course, she'll create more drawings, she'll create more paintings, she'll create more tattoos. She might even start moving into a separate form of artistic medium, which allows for more linked VR environments to showcase her artwork. She might go into 3D modeling, she might go into whatever. I'm not going to make assumptions. There's no telling what she could create in the future. But it's updatable. It exists in a 3D based space and a 2D based space because it allows for the access on any type of web browser, regardless of if it's a mobile platform or a desktop based platform or a laptop, but you get the idea. 3D representation, it's not 100% perfect, but it does allow for some rather interesting concepts, and I am rather a large fan of what I was able to accomplish in such a short amount of time. If you followed the progression of this project for however long this was, thank you. I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments, questions, thoughts whatsoever, feel free to leave a comment under the video. If you like this type of concept and you want to support my work, at least in terms of a VR-based development, subscribe to the channel. It really does help out a lot, and it gives me a little bit more motivation to create more videos like this, at least moving forward in terms of development process. I do plan on trying to add some elements to GitHub. Learning Git and getting more involved with that specific setup is going to take some time, simply because outside of my 40-plus hour a week job, which is full-time, it's a lot in terms of development time. But if you want to support my work, thank you for watching this video. Have a great